I'd like to welcome all the guys. Thanks for coming tonight. It's nice to see you guys once a week, whatever it is. We're just going to recap what we learned last shiur. We discussed last shiur. And then we're going to we'll delve into the characteristics of a person, of what to look at more or less when a person's going on a date. Last time we discussed the ma'ala, the greatness of tuv lev, of a good heart. And we mentioned that when a person lives with a person that has a good heart, whether it's a man living with a woman, that the woman has a good heart, or whether it's a woman living with a man, that he has a good heart. They both have a good heart. So the quality of their life, the quality of the days they live together is a lot more. Whether it's in depth, whether it's in length, the quality of their life is a lot more meaningful. And you want to be with them as much as possible. We mentioned that the importance of having a good heart, a lot of times, it doesn't mean that if there's a woman or a guy who is running a foundation of charity, we collected a big sum of money, or we gave out a lot of tzitziyot, or we gave out a lot of food, Tomchei Shabbat and stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that he has a good heart. It could be peer pressure. It could be his father does it. His brothers are doing it. His friends are doing it. So he's just doing it with them. And the biggest ra'ayah we brought from the Gemara says that one of the reasons the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, Gemara in Yumat Amud Aleph, the Gemara says, Gemara asks, why was the Beit HaMikdash Hasheni destroyed? Why was the second temple burnt to ashes? There was Torah, there was Avodah, and there was Gemilut Chasadim. So why was it burnt at the end of the day? Why was it destroyed? And the Navi, the prophets, they all admitted there was Torah, there was Avodah, there was charity, there was everything. So why was it destroyed? So the Gemara says, because there was Sinat Chinam, there was baseless hatred. And the Farshim ask, our rabbis comment, if the Navi, which is someone who sees right through you, he witnesses that there was chesed, there was Torah, and there was tefillah, there was everything. Everything was great. Why would the Beit HaMikdash be destroyed? Sinat Chinam? How could that be? The Navi himself said this Torah, this Gemilut Chasadim. We see from the Gemara over here, there can be Torah. The guy can learn Torah. The woman can go to Shiurei Torah. There could be a Chazan in Shul. What a beautiful voice. He can donate $1 million to tzedakah. But his heart is rotten. It's not real. That's what the Gemara says. And that's why the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. What do we say every day? Anshe Emunah Avadu. We lost people of truthfulness. It used to be when the Ben Ish Chai was alive, not so long ago, a little over 100 years ago, when the Ben Ish Chai was alive, the Arabs, when they would make a deal with a Jew, they would tell him, swear to me that you're going to pay me in the name of the Ben Ish Chai. that today, after signing and co-signing and swearing on God, nobody believes each other. Nobody believes anyone. Because on Shem we're not avadu. Because we're not real. So just because a person's doing chesed doesn't mean that he has a good heart. You have to look and wait. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's a week. Maybe it's a month, and maybe it's a year. You don't know till you marry the person. It's pretty sad. But don't judge because you've seen greatness. You've seen him doing the world for people. You don't know him 100%. And the biggest ra'ayah is the Bet HaMikdash. That until today, what are we suffering from? Sinat Chinam. Until today, we have Torah. We have Tefillah. We have the most Torah that was ever learned in history today. Never in history did we have the amount of yeshivot that we have today. Never in history you had a shtibel. You could pray 24 hours a day. Minyanim. We never had that. We never had thousands of Sfarim. In Yemen, in Morocco, they had to learn 4 guys on one daf. He looking from here, the other one looking from there, each one on a corner. We never had that. So why isn't the Bet HaMikdash rebuilt? Because it's Sinat Chinam. If the Bet HaMikdash is not rebuilt, that is a fact. That's a reality that we're not real. That our Maasim is not real. And every person, when you wake up in the morning, or when you go to work, or when you pray, or when you learn, or when you talk to your friend, if you're not real, then you're fake. If you're not focused, when you're talking to him, you show no interest. It's a lack of respect. And this is what we spoke about last year. Lev Tov, having a good heart. But just because someone did something good doesn't mean that is real. One of the ways to realize if it's real or not is you test the person on that point. For example, you want to know if a person has a good heart? You have a conversation. And in the conversation that you have with him, you'll say something that to him it doesn't sound the right way. Look how he answers back. Pay attention the way he reacts. Because his action towards those words, now it's real. Now it's the real time. When you're going out, you're enjoying bungee jumping, jumping off a plane, it's all nice. It all sounds good. In a restaurant, you think he's going to embarrass you in a restaurant? You think the girl's going to embarrass you in a restaurant? You're embarrassed. What's she going to say? What's he going to say? I might make it to her story. I might make it to his story. It's all about the story. It's a fairy tale. But at real time, what about a mistake? You embarrassed him. Look at the way he reacts. Or look at the way that she reacts. And that's one of the ways to signal if the person has good character traits or not. We spoke about that's how Eliezer found Rivka as a wife for Yitzchak. He saw the midot that she had, how it was important not just to help him, but to help 10 camels, to feed them water. Imagine you have to pick up a jug of water, a barrel of water for one camel. You'd be standing there for an hour. For 10 camels, and it's a woman doing it, not a man. 10 camels. And she offered it. He didn't even ask her. That's where it's real. When the guy or the woman offers to do something, that's where it's the coming out of the goodness of his heart or her heart. And when he saw it, he said, that's the zivug for my master's son. And the Ran writes down in his drashot, Rabbeinu Nisim, one of the Rishonim, he says, the reason why we look at the parents is because Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. The way a person acts, that's how his kids will act. Because when you work on yourself today, you're working on your future generation. When you perfect yourself today, your kids will be more perfect. If you work on your laziness today, tomorrow you'll be less lazy. And ultimately your kids won't be lazy at all. Because when you navigate yourself to become this person who wants to do great things, who wants to achieve greater heights, so you're influencing yourself. And slowly, slowly, you mend yourself to a better person, a better character trait, and a better example for yourself and for others. And that reflects on your kids, on your wife, on your surroundings. So yes, it might be hard for one to change the world, but all it takes is one to change the world. And the Saba Misalabotka says that's exactly why Masechet Avot is called Masechet Avot. Because whatever our fathers worked, that's what they transfer over to their kids. Midot are Yerusha. The character traits are what the kids inherit. You might have parents where they don't have money. They don't have wealth. They don't own real estate. They don't have mansions. They don't have a Ferrari F458 Italia parked right in front of them. They don't have that. It's good they don't have it. The kids won't have what to fight on. But at the end of the day, what do they have? If they have midot tovot, they gave to their kids a priceless lesson for life. And that midah, that character trait that they worked on the whole entire life, would change their family for the good for the rest of their journey. And that's why the Gemara in Shabbat says, you have to look for a woman that has midot tovot. Make sure her parents, make sure her brothers, same thing for the guy, make sure he comes from a good family. that his parents are good people, his brothers, his sisters, even his cousins, his friends. In Hebrew there's a saying, Tagid li mi hachaverim shelcha v'ani agid lecha mi ata. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. It's not always true. But the truth is, where a person hangs out, that's what a person becomes. The people who we hang out with, that's the people who we become. Because we get influenced from our surroundings. Today I'd like to continue into another ma'ala, another character trait. That when we go out into the dating world, you have to make sure that the woman or the guy is not ka'asanit v'ragzanit. She's not a woman that has a temper, or a guy that has a temper, or they're always mad, they're always angry. It's not pleasant to live with a person that's always angry. It's like you're stepping on seashells. You don't know what to do. Every second she could blow up. She's a ticking bomb. Or the guy, there's something off with him. He's always angry. He's always looking. Wait, what did she do? What did this one do? What did that one do? Where did she go today? Who did she speak today? And vice versa. Where were you? You spoke to this one? You know I don't like her. You know I don't like this place. Why'd you go here? Why'd you go there? She could work for the FBI. These character traits are very, very bad. Very bad. And it's not pleasant. For example, a guy, he's in Kolel. He's thinking what to get his wife. He says, you know what? Today I'm going to make my wife happy. He goes to the bakery. After Kolel, he goes to the bakery. He sees a donut. He says, wow, my wife loves donuts. I'm going to get her a donut. Then he sees a fresh batch coming out of the oven. You know what? Forget about that. Kiki, can you get me that one? He says, which one? Hey, the middle one. Crispy. Yeah, that one. Boiling hot. Pays $5. He picks it up. He's holding it. He's burning his hand. He's walking home. He's the happiest guy on earth. He has a donut for his beloved wife. He knocks on the door. Hey, honey, what's up? How you doing? He sees his wife with a shmata. She's cleaning the house. She's mopping the floor. He says, honey, I got you a donut. And he starts running to her. She tells him, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You just ruined the floors. Look what you did. You ruined everything. He turns around. He says, this stupid donut. I'm so stupid. Why did I buy her a donut? Look what I'm doing. I'm trying my hardest. And this is what she saw. She saw the footsteps. She didn't see the donut. I'm burning my hand. Honey, look at my hand. It's red. So obviously the guy shouldn't walk. You're right. He shouldn't ruin the clean floor.
What's wrong?
But also, she shouldn't be screaming at the guy. Miskan. He's a guy, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He came from the Kolel. He was thinking about his wife. But a woman that's always angry, she's always looking at what? Oh, what did he do wrong? Tomorrow he'll come with a stick. Honey, here's the donut. I'm not walking into the house. That's how you give me a donut? With a stick?
Maybe she'll complain about the calories also.
I'm on a detox. Now you're giving it to me?
Give it to get.
So at the end of the day, a person with that personality,
No protest.
guys, a person with those personalities, guys, mature. We spoke about it, don't relax. So at the end of the day, a guy who comes and he wants to go on a date, and that's the girl, rather just drop it. Or the same thing, a girl is going on a date with the guy and he's always angry, he's always mad. Don't continue, just drop it. It's not worth it. You're able to live together, but you're gonna live with a ticking bomb. And nobody wants to live with a ticking bomb. Also, one of the midot that a person has to be very careful is a woman that's atzbanit, but not that she's mad. Milashon atziv, she's very sad. Sometimes people are very sad, whether it's the way they were brought up, the family that they have, the parents that they have, the school that they went to, the teacher that they had. For many, many reasons, a person can be very sad. But at the end of the day, a person has to know that you have to go out with someone that's happy, someone that's alive. Because if not, you'll have a sad life. The Chazon Ish once said, you have to look for this on a date. People think that a happy woman is a woman saying jokes on a date. Or women think that a happy guy, he's cracking jokes the first date. He's very funny. He's very outgoing. Sometimes it's the exact opposite. There was a famous maaseh with a person that was very sad. He went to a psychologist. And he was telling the psychologist, I need help. I'm very sad. What should I do? Psychologist spoke to him an hour or two. He realized this guy, nothing to do with him. He's a lost case. Said the only other guy that I know that can help you is this doctor. Maybe go to this doctor. The doctor spoke to him for a couple hours. Told him, you're a tough cookie. I don't know what to do with you. But there's one option that I have in the back of my head. Maybe this could help you. Once a week, there's a clown that comes over here. He makes everybody happy. Oh, stand-upist.
Stand-upist?
Guy makes jokes. He makes fun of everything. All types of races. He makes fun of his own family. A comedian. So, why don't you come over here once a week when he comes, and at least you won't be sad for those 2 hours. So the guy tells the doctor, I'm that comedian.
Stop it.
If we would know that the comedians themselves are the most saddest people, you wouldn't go to the show. You wouldn't go to the show. That's how fake the world is. You'll see one guy, his wife, she falls from the chair every single night. She can't even stand in one place for more than a second. The guy is rolling jokes. He's so funny. Meanwhile, the guy is the most miserable person in the world. What a person means when the rabbis tell us Simchat Chaim, what do they mean Simchat Chaim? What does it mean to be happy? It means that a person is filled with quality, with ruchniyut, with spirituality. He's not cracking up because he watched a movie, Tom and Jerry, or whatever you watched. He's happy because, wow, I woke up today in the morning. I went to pray, whether it was slichot, whether it's a minyan. I learned today. I understood what Rav Chizda said. I understood what Rav Huna said. I understood what the Gemara is asking. I wasn't an idiot, didn't understand for a half hour. Yeah, obvious, that's what the Gemara meant. Or I wasn't the guy who woke up at 12 o'clock today and rolled into work as if like everything's Gucci. What's up? That's a person with Echut Chaim. That's a person with Simchat Chaim. When a person wakes up, he has a schedule, he's persistent, he's on time. He comes to shiur, he comes to pray. He's serious, he's growing, he's developing himself. He's building himself. That's a person who's happy. Not a person wakes up late, he barely works, he barely prays, he barely learns. He calls the rabbi once a month. I'm screwed, could you help me? I need money, could you help me? I'm stuck over here, could you help me? That's when they call the rabbi. Such a person is not fun. Not fun to be with him. He's not a happy person. There's no quality. There's no depth. There's nothing there. All the guy does the whole day is eat and talk. That's it. I go to Jersey City, I see every day a bunch of batatas sitting the whole day, doing nothing. They get unemployment and that's it. There's no tochen. They're on the iPhone the whole day. They weigh 500 pounds. In the morning they go to McDonald's. In the afternoon they go to White Castle. And the night they go to Taco Bell. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You came to this world to eat Taco Bell? That's what you came? Oh, Joseph's Dream Burger? Sorry, it's the goy. That's what we came to this world for. So at the end of the day, a person has to know. Just because you're smiling doesn't mean that it's real. A person has what to back up his smile with. That's when it's real. You understood Tosfot's question. You prayed today. You learned today. You did a good deed. You looked at your wife and you told her, honey, you look amazing today. I love your outfit. Ima, the food that you made today was amazing. It could have been better. Abba, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for bringing me to this world. If not for you, I would not be here. Even when you go into the car, you push the push start, say thank you to Hashem. You know how many people push the push start, it doesn't start? We don't even pay attention to all the small little things. You found your keys today? You know when's the last time you lost your keys? You know how long it took you to find it? Till today using a spear. Every single day, Every single day you wake up, modeh ani. And when you say that, say thank you. We have on the walls over here, Modin. Or what does it say over there? By the last part. The second to last line. Al shanachnu modim lach. Baruch el haodot. You know what that means? The rabbis told us the fact that we're able to say thank you to God, that's what we're saying thank you. You hear? That's how deep it is. The fact that you woke up today to say thank you, that means you're alive. Today there was a levaya. Relatively, the person was young. Very young. He wasn't old. Problems with his heart. You know when we realize that we have a heart? When someone passes away, when the heart wasn't working. That's when we realize we have a heart. But the truth is, we don't really have hearts. If we don't realize every day that we have to thank Hashem for our heart, you don't have a heart. If you could live every single day of your life and not acknowledge that God gave you a heart, you're heartless. It's made out of stones. Live Evan. I don't know what your heart is pumping. A guy who got married to a sad wife, he doesn't have to go and say, you know, I'm going to make it my business, she's going to be happy. Because she's not your client. She's not your patient. You can't look at your wife as a patient, and you can't look at a girl as she's your job to fix. No. Or vice versa. He's my patient. I'm going to fix it. No. We fix ourselves. And automatically, as an image, as an example, she will be fixed or he will be fixed. But it all starts when we start with ourselves. Another midah to speak about is akshanut, stubbornness. And stubbornness is am kesheoref. It's one of the midot that Am Yisrael were blessed and cursed with. Akshanut, stubbornness. Stubbornness can be used for good, and stubbornness can be used for bad, like everything in the world. Rav Moshe Sternbuch once said over that he heard from the Chazon Ish that one guy asked the Chazon Ish, what do I have to check and find that the woman that I'm dating with, what do I have to look for? The Chazon Ish told him, the main thing is she should not be stubborn. That's the main thing. And it goes vice versa. If one of them, the husband or the wife, or the boy or the girl, are stubborn, there's no one to talk to. You're talking to walls, that's it. You can't build a relationship if there's a wall. There's a brick wall, don't talk to them. A woman's a brick, you can't talk to them. Don't try to talk to them, it's not working. It's not going to work. When a person is able to soften up, to realize, wait, I made a mistake, I'll move on, that's where you could help them. That's where you could build a relationship. But if everything in life she's going to be stubborn, or he's going to be stubborn, there's no way that it will work. And this is a factor in life. You'll never have friends if you're stubborn. Nobody will ever want to learn with you in yeshiva, be your chavruta, if you're stubborn. Nobody will go out with you on a date if you're stubborn. Because you keep on clashing with your surroundings. A person has to be a benoni, noach labriot. We say every Motzei Shabbat ba'Avdalah, v'noach matzachen b'nei Elohim ve'Adam. Noach found favor in the eyes of God, then in the people. What do we learn from here? First, you have to be Noach. You have to be civilized. You have to be calm. You have to work out things first with Hashem. Then work it out with the people. If a person is willing to let go of things, then everything will flow. But if the guy or the girl holds on to things, you come to say sorry, the girl tells you sorry, or the guy tells you sorry. But right after, but you should just know that the reason why I did it was because of A, B, and C. And the guy tells her, well, you should just know that the reason why I came was because A, B, and C. And they're both idiots. If one thought that the other is saying sorry, they just exploded a bomb. If you're going to forgive, you gotta let go. Forget is part of forgiving. But let go of the past. Drop it. Move on. There's a very powerful story that I just heard last night. A very powerful story. I'm going to share with you guys. There was an Israeli taxi driver driving in Yerushalayim. He was behind Egged, the bus. Like a city bus over here, they have over there. I'm sure all you guys were in Israel, you all experienced it. Anyhow, it's bumper to bumper. The taxi driver is driving, and he wants to cut the bus off. He wants to go home already. So the bus stops, he cuts him off, and before he knows it, there's a kid crossing, got off the bus, and the taxi driver ran him over, killed him. Obviously he stops, the cops come by, they check what happened. They take a taxi driver, they put on handcuffs, take him to court. They sentence him 5 years in prison. 5 years. The taxi driver felt very, very bad. We'll call him Moshe. Moshe felt devastated. He just killed a boy. How old was he already? 9 years old, 8 years old. He just killed the guy. Felt very bad. But in the back of his mind, he was saying, I have a wife and kids at home. Who's going to support them? His wife stayed at home. She was a housewife. He was the one that brought bread, brought food to the house, paid the bills, the mortgage, the tuition. Who's going to pay that? But he couldn't do anything. He was in jail. What are you going to do? Talk to the walls. At the end of the month, a guy came and dropped a box in front of Moshe's house. His wife, Rachel, she opens the door. In the morning, she sees a box. On the 30th of the month, she sees a box. She picks up the box, she goes into her house, she goes to the kitchen, and she starts checking what's in the box. She realizes there's fruits, there's vegetables, there's meat, there's chicken, there's fish, chalot, and there's an envelope. How much is in the envelope? $5,000. That's enough to pay the mortgage, the tuition, and everything she needed for the month. And Rachel, not just that month, for 5 years, every 30th of the month, she gets this box. And she's telling herself, this is not man min hashamayim. We're not living in the desert. Where is this box coming from? Till one day, she's hiding behind the door. She sees a little kid dropping the box and running for his life. As soon as the kid drops the box, she opens the door. She tells Matt, come over here. He runs. Well, she saw his face and she remembered it. One day, she gets on the bus and she sees at the end of the bus this kid. She says, please do me a favor. Don't run. I want to ask you a question. He says, listen, I cannot give you any answers. I was told by my parents to put this at your doorstep. At your doorstep, and this to run off. But if you want answers, this is the address. Go to this address. She was happy, at least she got the address. That month, her husband came out of jail. It's been 5 years already. She tells her husband, I have an address to go to. Let's go together. Her husband tells her on the way, who supported you for the past 5 years? She tells him, this address supported us. And he saw that really everything was getting paid, all the bills. They didn't throw out of the house. The fridge is filled. The kids look happy. They have new clothes on. Whatever she said was true. So they went to this guy's house. They knock on the door. And the parents open up the door. And behold, in front of their eyes, you know who's standing there? You know who supported them for 5 full years? Every single month. Who supported them? The parents of the kid that was run over. And the father looks. He looks at the other father. And he tells him, why? Why are you supporting me? Thank you, but why? If anything, I owe you. Why are you paying me? Why are you taking care of me? I'm the one that messed up, not you. He tells him, when my son passed away, I was very devastated, like every parent. And I couldn't forgive you. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I couldn't do anything. I was tired. I broke down every day. I was crying. Why my son? What did he do? He's a katan. He's a precious boy. Why me? There's so many people in this world. Why me? So I went to rabbis and I asked them, what do I do? I know I'm a believer. I know that Kol Man David Rachmana Letav Avid, whatever Hashem does is all for the good. It's all for the greater good. And yes, even this is Letovah. But at the end of the day, how do I get over this? How do I move on? How do I grow? How do I elevate myself? So every rabbi had a different approach. Pray for him. Maybe you have more bitachon in Hashem, work on emunah. And I tried everything, but nothing gave me salvation. And one rabbi told me, the only way for you to forgive that taxi driver is right now, he's in jail. And his wife is like a widow. She has no one to take care of her. No one to pay the bills. No one to take care of the kids. The fridge is empty. They don't have $1 in their pocket. Go and calculate all of her bills, all of her expenses, and give her whatever she needs. When you give her, you'll start loving her. And you'll start loving him. And you'll forgive him. And Baruch Hashem, after 5 years, now that you're standing in front of me, I could hug you and I could kiss you and I could say full-heartedly that I forgive you. We see from this story, yes, it's a big level of emunah. Not everyone can do this. But in life, we think that if I love you, I give you, right? The Torah teaches us the exact opposite. If you give, then you love. Not if you love, you give. A rabbi asked the students, you love fish? He says, of course. I like them well done. He says, you like yourself. You like the fish, let them stay alive. Why are you killing him? We love ourselves. That's why we do whatever we do. The Torah teaches us a person who really loves the girl he's dating, even though there is no love. Love only comes after. But a person who likes the girl that he's dating, or a husband who loves his wife, the love is giving. Give, then you love. When a person gives, that's the biggest raya that he loves. The guy's thinking, oh, what am I going to buy my wife? Oh, what are we going to go out to eat? For 20 years he's thinking, honey, I couldn't find a restaurant that's perfect for you. Nah, it can't be. For 20 years you're thinking, we're almost halfway in the grave. What are you?
Rabbi, thanks for the idea.
So at the end of the day, if you really love, you show it by giving. At the end of the day, the only way that we're able to forgive is by not being stubborn. by letting go. Because when you let go, that's when you can understand life. That's when you can move on and appreciate life. When a person holds on, oh, they hurt me, they said this to me, that to me. If you hold on to it, think about it like this. Imagine you have in your car, you have the trunk, right? In the back, how much could you fit? How much could you fit?
Like 3 bodies.
Cheryl, I don't know if I'll go out with him.
Rabbi.
He's still thinking of a
Rabbi, you only
restaurant.
need hot
Anyhow, but no, Bemet, how much could you fit?
Like 3 bodies.
Okay, let's just how about 3 luggages, let's say. Okay, let's say 3 luggages.
Luggages, Rabbi, people.
Okay, money.
Whoa.
Let's keep it clean. Let's say you can fit 3 luggages. After 3 luggages, that's it. There's nothing to fit inside. A person, lahavdil, a person has a brain. He has a memory. There's a capacity at the end of the day. There's a limit of how much you can fit in here. The more you hold on to things, it's a blockage from other things coming in. So when you hold on to anger, you hold on to actions that people did to you, to certain situations, you know what happens? You're letting go of everything good that could be happening to you right now. Imagine a person, Chavavadi writes down enough Etzavot, a beautiful story. So there was a person, this guy was a whack job. He has an apartment in a building in Israel, and the whole day, he had to take binoculars, lives on the 5th floor. He has a parking lot. And with his binoculars, he's looking the whole entire day. Who's gonna dare park in his parking lot? And what happens? Every day someone takes his parking lot. You know, a half hour, you look for parking, no parking lot. I like parking this parking lot. Anyhow, he's not using it, so I'll use it. He would come down with a hammer, break the guy's windows, slash his tires, and then he run back upstairs. He takes his binoculars, he look at the guy. What happened? Who broke my tires? This, that. The guy's cracking up. Next star, don't park there. Next time I see you, I'll break your legs. I'll make him a body. Anyhow, at the end of the day,
Rabbi, if I get a parking lot.
so at the end of the day, they decided what they're gonna do. By his birthday, they're gonna buy him a brand new car. At least he'll have a car to put in his parking lot. He'll stay there for 30 years. Nobody will get a ticket for the cleaning. You know, the days of cleaning. Alternate sides. Okay, I don't have to have it in Israel, but anyhow, the guy goes in the middle of his birthday. What does he do? He says, "What? Someone's parking here?" He ordered a cement truck. Cement. The guy's not moving. He's the Vic. He's a big. He gets a cement truck. He does I want you to fill up the whole entire car. Make sure he pops the windows, everything. Make sure you fill to the top. He can't even go to the car, nothing. The guy comes, he says, "You serious? You're gonna pay per square feet? So I'll pay you extra." He pays him. The guy fills it up. Does he a little extra? He says, "Yeah." He says, "Who opens the hood?" Fill it inside. No mechanic in the world's gonna fix it. It does. Total loss. Total loss. Anyhow, he goes upstairs. He takes his binoculars. He says, I want to see the owner of the car. They tell him, "Saba, come. Yalla, here's the birthday cake. So we give you the present." He comes, eats the birthday cake. He realizes, I want to see what my grandkids bought me this year. He told him, Daddy, here's a box. He opened the box. He sees a pair of keys. He says, what's this pair of keys? He says, an apartment? He says, no, it's a car at your parking lot. I put cement. Chavavadi says, what's the nimshal? A person at the end of the day, you're filling up your memory with cement. Hashem is giving you opportunities. Let go. Drop it. Move on. So what? This happened, that happened. So what? Said that. Don't worry. Hashem will take care of all those that gave you discipline. Hashem will take care of all those, and when He does it, I promise you it's a lot better. Why hold on? Let go. Life is too short to hold on to things. Just move on. Be more easygoing. Move on with it. One last midah like you talk about tonight is Shtei Rakshanit. What does Rakshanit? Rakshanit means regesh, feeling. To build a house, a woman has to be very warm. This is more for the woman and the guys. The guys are naturally cold. That's how it is. Hashem made a guy more cold because he's usually the one running the house from the outside, the business, stuff like that. He has to use more of his brains. A woman is more feelings. She's more in the heart. Yeah, but the kid, this guy is so cute. You want to pinch his cheeks, but the guy you put ketchup all over the couch and everything. What do you do? No, he's so cute. Whatever, it's okay. I'm gonna clean it. You see, 3 hours are fantastic. She's trying to clean the couch. Honey, we have insurance. Nah, this is the first one we bought. This is first luck charm. Mazal tov. That's it. I want to show the babies when they grow up. Look what they did. This is your kid's gonna do that to you.
Take a picture.
You have some woman, the first shoes the baby ever wore, 20 years later, she has it in the garage. We're gonna put this in I don't know where. So you need a lot of warmth in the house. With chom and ahava. A lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of patience. For example, when a person wants to take care of it, he wants to plant a tree. Plant a tree. How much patience do you have to cut the thorns, to feed her every day? Sometimes I come home, I see the baby. She's gorgeous, Baruch Hashem. I love her. But at the end of the day, she starts crying. Doesn't stop crying. After half hour, an hour, honey, take the baby. It's hard about the hayib.
Probably less than an hour. It's good enough.
You would have last 2 minutes.
At the end of the day, after a long day, you could see the wife. She could be with the baby for 20 years. She's singing to her. She's talking to her. She's telling her whole life story. She doesn't understand language. What? They know a little bit, but they don't know exactly what happened with Joe and this one and that one. They have no clue. They listen. Yeah, of course they listen when they're gonna cry. You've been crying for 3 hours. They don't know, she has no strength to cry anymore. But at the end of the day, women are more patient. They have more warmth, more ahava, more love, more care. And that's why a woman's job is in the house. Take care of the kids. You have a guy taking care of the kids. They're all the shoes, the socks, the shirt, and the pants are not even matching. You look at all the kids. It looked like they went through a storm. He's making macaroni every day. That's the only thing he knows how to make. Macaroni with ketchup, barbecue sauce, macaroni plain, macaroni with salt. You know what I mean? A woman's different. She doesn't. Scrambled eggs one day, the other day hard-boiled eggs. That's it. What does he know? Tuna salad. He doesn't know how to do.
Rabbi, what's the sauce?
So at the end of the day, it's very important. It's very important to go out with a woman and to marry a woman that she's very warm. She's very warm inside. She's very passionate about what she does. She cares about what she does. She's very patient. Obviously, the father or the guy should also be more warm. Shouldn't be cold-blooded. But at the end of the day, the main thing is that the woman has to be, because she's the one more with the kids, more in the house. A lot of times people get divorced all because the guy is too cold or the woman's too cold. See the baby's crying for an hour. He came back from kollel, he came back from work, the baby's crying for an hour. I heard my own ears. The guy told me, they're watching the baby's crying for an hour. The wife comes back home. She says, why is the baby crying? She said, I don't know. Nowadays, he's not so smart, not so bright. She's crying for an hour already. For an hour she's crying, you didn't calm her down. So I don't know what to do. I held her, I gave her milk, what am I supposed to do? The mother comes, she looks at the baby, she realizes her husband put a diaper, he tied it so tight, the baby can't breathe. It's crying for an hour already. Make it looser. Take it off or make it loose. I don't know. What are you doing? I can't breathe. The wife tells her husband, look, we almost killed the baby. Look, it's purple. We have the whole rainbow over here. What's going on? And what happens? Because I didn't know. I thought it was like a guy. You have to use your brain. You can't be one word. You have to have a little bit of warmth. Reasonable. Also, a person has to know that when the woman is more warm, so through love is the biggest tool in life. It's also the strongest tool in life. When you want to make gold, you want to make a diamond, you want to make a ring, what do you use? So to shape a diamond is one way. You use glass, use diamond itself. But to shape or form gold and silver and all types of metals, how do you shape it and form it? By a fire. By melting, right? By melting it, that's how you shape it. Right? How do you make glass? With fire. What's fire? Fire is love. Fire is heat. It's the warmth. If the love and the warmth by a woman is able, if fire is able to melt down metal, so love could melt down any characteristic that a person has. In any situation that a person has, it could melt it and reform it into a better person. And that's why it's so important. I want to end off with a story that I heard today. A big miracle by one of the biggest rabbis in the Shuvah world, Rav Amnon Yitzchak. He says 20 years ago, he was in Florida. And 20 years ago, a guy came over to him and told him, Rabbi, one day I'm traveling on my yacht with my 9-year-old boy. And this boy, will call him David. David is looking at he's looking at the whole yacht. And kids, boys being boys, they're looking at the ocean and their head is sticking out. And they're looking into the water. And before you know it, this David fell over. And the engine sliced up his whole stomach, his hands, his legs. And right then and there, they stopped the motor. They all jumped out of the yacht. And they collected every single piece, every single bone that they saw in the water. They collected all of that. And they went straight to the hospital.
But he's dead.
Did I say he's dead? Anyhow, he gets to the hospital. The doctors tell him, your son, from our experience, your son is dead. There's no way he's coming back to life. No way. Okay? What's he going to do? So this guy comes to Rav Noni Tzchak. He tells him, Rabbi, you're my last option. There's no one else to turn to. Please do me a favor. Go to the hospital. Talk to my son. Do something. You do a lot of miracles. Make a miracle. He says, okay, I'll go. He goes to the hospital. And there was a law 20 years ago, maybe it's still in effect, that at such critical conditions, even the parents cannot walk into the room. Only the doctors. And then they had a law, I don't know if it's today still, that if a rabbi comes, he could walk in also. So they put on Rav Noni Tzchak, they put him a white, they put him the clothes of a doctor. He walked in with the goggles, the whole 9 yards. He walks in and he sees this 9-year-old, David. He looks dead. Nothing of him is moving. The guy has a million stitches. Doesn't look like anything's really gonna go. And the rabbi tells him, I don't know if you hear me, but if you do, and if you're able to, repeat after me. But if it's too hard for you, don't. Don't work too hard. Because at that stage, this from working to from straining yourself, that could cause you death. His lips were filled with blood. And the rabbi tells him, repeat after me if you're able to. Shema. Shema Yisrael. Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. After a couple minutes, David starts to move his lips. And this is already a while. He didn't move at all. Nothing was moving. The doctor says, Rabbi, that's a miracle. It's a miracle. And the rabbi tells David, I want you to do me a favor. From now till your bar mitzvah, I want you to think of one pasuk. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That's it. It's all I want you to think about. And he walks out. Outside the room, his father. The rabbi sees the father, he tells him, Daddy, what do you do? He says, I'm a soccer player. He says, you play on Shabbat? He says, yes, I play on Shabbat. He says, your son's life is dependent on you right now. You're carrying him. If you stop playing on Shabbat, your son, there's a good chance he'll make it out of here. But if you continue to play on Shabbat, who knows? Who knows? The rabbi left the hospital. 3 months later, he's already in Israel in Bnei Brak. There's a call to his office. And in that call is the father of David. And he tells him, Rabbi, I kept Shabbat for 3 months. I didn't play on Shabbat. My son was thinking about Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And Baruch Hashem now today, he's able to walk on his 2 feet. His hands works, his heart works, everything is functioning. And today, he's 29 years old, alive and healthy. All from what? Shema Yisrael and Shabbat. God puts us in situations that we don't like to be in. Whether it's your friend's father passing away, lo aleinu v'lo alechem, not anyone. Whether it's your best friend overdosing, whether it's a boy or a girl, whether it's a car accident, whether it's any tragedy in the world. If it happened in our surroundings, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is PM. He's private messaging us. He's telling us, I want you to wake up. I want you to change. Maybe start waking up early in the morning. Start praying. Take a tefillah upon yourself. Put on tzitzit. Put on a kippah. Put on tefillin. Keep Shabbat properly. Come to shul. Be kovai tima Torah. Learn every day, morning and night. Make it your priority. Don't bring the phone into shul while you're learning. Don't be on your phone in the middle of shiur. Take something upon yourself. Rav Shach once got up and he told his crowd, thousands of people came to hear Elul. What's Rav Shach going to say? Maybe you need to wake up early in the morning, pray nets every day. Maybe you have to do Gilgul HaSheleg. Roll yourself in snow. Maybe you have to fast every Monday and Thursday. Maybe you have to learn for 18 hours straight a day. Who knows what Rav Shach's going to say? Rav Shach got up and he told Rabotai, you know what I want you to do? Listen to me, I'm an older guy. Rav Shach was already in his 90s. He says, I promise you, I give you a guarantee, if you do this, you're going to walk out this year with a successful year. And what did he say? He said, when you say Birkat HaMazon, say word by word. Open the Siddur. Open the Birkat HaMazon. Word for word. Say it slowly by slowly. Word by word. Ramechli Yehuda Lefkowitz. He said, you know what you should do? Asher Yatzar. You go to the bathroom 6 times a day average. How long would it take to say Asher Yatzar? 20 seconds? That's 2 minutes a day. God give you 24 hours. You can't give him 2 minutes a day? Mafila asot. After 2 seconds, mafila asot. He doesn't even know what he said. You're talking to God. Baruch atah Hashem. What do you think? He's in 7-Eleven? He's talking to you right now. In Starbucks, you talk to the guy over there nicely. Hi, good morning.
Talk to Hashem nice.
Oh, if the guy, you're selling him pizza, you're selling a guy a car, how do you talk to him? You buy him pizza, you buy him this, you buy him that. You're very sweet, very sweet. All for a couple dollars. God gives you life. If you didn't have life, you couldn't even sell the car today. If you didn't have legs today, you wouldn't be able to walk to anywhere. We all take this for granted. 20 seconds. You go out of the bathroom, stand in one place. Wash your hands, stand in one place. Wipe your hands, say, Baruch Atah, word for word. Yes, people might look at you like you're a dummy. But you just realize they're dummies. You're not. If you could stand 20 seconds and say Asher Yatzar, that's a real man. You sit down at Birkat Hamazon and you look right now at Birkat Hamazon. You're not on your phone, you're not on TikTok or Instagram or on the Snapchat or on the stock market. All you're doing right now is focusing on this. You hear, Moni? It's all you're doing. Whatever you do, focus on that. You'll enhance the mitzvot. You'll enhance yourself. And automatically, you'll have a better life with more quality and more quantity. Zat Hashem Kadosh Baruch Hu. Through our shiur, our character traits, we work on our character traits. And Kadosh Baruch Hu see this and give us hatzlacha in all that we need.